A judge has temporarily blocked Louisiana's attempt for a near total ban on abortion. The statute took effect when the Supreme Court struck down Roe versus Wade. Abortion supporters claim the law is unclear. The state attorney general tweets the rule of law must be followed. During Capitol Hill testimony today, one pro-life voice says the U.S. Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe versus Wade was decades in the making.
The Supreme Court's decision in Dobbs corrects a 50-year wrong, one that resulted in the death of over 60 million unborn children. Roe versus Wade was premised on egregious legal errors, and its reversal is a tremendous victory for life and for the American people.
Well, the hearing comes as House Speaker Nancy Pelosi tries to get several bills passed to protect so-called abortion rights. The Democratic leader says new laws are needed after the Supreme Court's decision. And joining us now is Erin Hawley, Senior Appellate Counsel for the Alliance Defending Freedom. Erin, welcome back. Always so great to be with you. A lot to get to today, but first, I want to play a moment from the hearing today with part of your testimony. Let's watch.
Their whole focus is on intimidating the court, and they're the ones with the radical position. Mr. Raskin just said we're radical. They're the ones who think you should take the life of an unborn child. You could take the life of an unborn child right up until their birthday.
Will the gentleman yield?
Is that accurate, Ms. Hawley?
Will the gentleman yield?
No, my question is for Ms. Hawley.
Absolutely, and I'd love to set the record straight on something Congressman Raskin said. He said that the American people support the Women's Health Protection Act. They do not. Less than 10% of the American public would support abortion up until birth for any reason. That law federalizes a right to sex and race-selective abortion.
And Erin, I want to talk more about this interaction you had and your response that Americans do not support the Women's Health Protection Act.
Absolutely. Well, the Women's Health Protection Act is an extreme measure. As mentioned, it would allow abortions for any reason at all, up until the moment before birth. It would put us on par with only a few countries in the world, countries like North Korea and China with horrible human rights records, and it would also overturn all of the laws, life-protecting laws of the states, including really common sense ones like safety and health regulations for abortion facilities, even in states that still permit abortions. It could not be a more extreme law that they are considering.
Yeah, and I know today's hearing, it lasted for several hours. I'm wondering what stood out to you, and ultimately, what do you think will come from these hearings?
So my hope is that that they'll work through these issues and arrive at some truth about what is happening in the states. A lot of the testimony today was surprising to me because it focused on things like ectopic pregnancies and miscarriages and threats to the life of the mother. And there is no state in the country that prohibits life-saving procedures in cases of an ectopic pregnancy or in cases of a miscarriage or when a woman's life is in danger. Instead, those sorts of procedures are not abortions at all because they are not made with the intent to take an unborn human life.
Yeah, and Erin, as you know, yesterday the Senate also held a similar hearing, and there was one moment in particular that really went viral. It involved your husband, Senator Josh Hawley, and a professor from the University of California, Berkeley, and she accused her husband of being transphobic. If you don't mind, can you tell us more about that and why you think this particular interaction created so much buzz?
Well, absolutely. And of course, my husband is not transphobic. But I think the reason that this moment went viral is if you look at the tactics of pro-abortion advocates, they're not only trying to erase baby from the equation. If you listen to their testimony, they talk about other words, but never mention that there is a human being, a baby inside a pregnant woman. And now they're trying even to erase the word woman from our vocabulary. So instead of it being a woman's pregnancy, it's a person's pregnancy. And that's not biologically accurate. Women are capable of having children. It's a huge blessing. And my husband was recognizing that.
Yeah, and just stating the facts right there. All right, switching gears, as Owen reported earlier, the Justice Department is creating a task force that will be monitoring states' laws relating to abortion. This comes after President Biden signed an executive order to help protect access to abortions. I'm curious, how involved can the federal government get now that the issue of abortion is at the state level?
You know, I was really surprised even to see the creation of this federal task force. To me, it doesn't make any sense. The Dobbs decision was clear that the Supreme Court is getting out of the business of legislating abortion. It is returning that issue to the states and to the people. And this order purports to, police states for overregulating abortion. But as the Supreme Court held, it is absolutely the right of the people to decide to protect unborn life. The Dobbs decision gives that right back to the American people.
And Erin, before I let you go, one more thing I do want to touch on. As you know, there's been this talk about this creation of a floating abortion clinic in the waters off the Gulf Coast outside of state jurisdiction. I want to get your thoughts on that and also the legality of it.
Absolutely. So that's a complex issue. You would have a question of conflicts of law and whose law applied, if it was state law or federal law. There are certain federal bans that are currently in place. There's a federal ban on partial birth abortions, the most common procedure after a certain time period. That would be also completely within Congress's power to outlaw abortions, floating abortion clinics, as it were, if that were in federal jurisdiction.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Erin, thank you so much for your time today. We always appreciate it.
Thank you so much.